German supply lines. December 25th, 1944. Christmas relief and reinforcements. On Christmas Day, General Patton's forces launched a counteroffensive to relieve Boston. By December 27th, the Allies had broken through the German encirclement, marking a significant turning point.
January 1st, 1945. Operation Bodenplatte. The Germans launched a final effort, Operation Bodenplatte, aimed at regaining air superiority by attacking Allied airfields. Although they inflict some damage, the Allies quickly replaced the lost planes, and the Germans failed to halt the Allied advance. January 3rd, 1945. German withdrawal facing a lack of reinforcements and supplies. German forces began to withdraw slowly from the region. The Allies, bolstered by reinforcements, pressed their attack. January 16, 1945. Allied armies reckoned by January 16. The U.S. First and Third Armies linked up with the British Second Army, cutting off German forces and driving them back further. January 25, 1945. The Allies win by January 25. They had driven the Germans out of the Ardennes. The front lines were restored, but at a heavy cost, approximately 19,000 U.S. casualties, 47,500 wounded, and 23,000 missing. The British suffered around 1,400 casualties, and the Germans lost 100,000 men. The Battle of the Bulge was a decisive victory for the Allies, marking the end of Hitler's hopes for a major counteroffensive on the Western Front. The Allies' courage, resilience, and the timely arrival of reinforcements led to their success in the grueling battle. Battle of Stalingrad, July 17, 1942 to February 2, 1943. Stalingrad was one of the most decisive battles on the Eastern Front in the Second World War. The Soviet Union inflicted a catastrophic defeat on the German army in and around this strategically important city on the Volga River, which bore the name of the Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin. In the summer of 1942, Hitler launched a major offensive into southern Russia, seeking to destroy what was left of the Soviet army and ultimately capture the Caucasus oil fields. The initial advance went well, and the German Sixth Army under General Friedrich von Paulus was ordered to capture the city. But Stalin demanded be defended at all costs. Every available soldier and civilian was mobilized. Stalingrad was heavily bombed by Luftwaffe, and the rains became the scene for months of bitter street fighting. By October, most of the city was in German hands, but the Russians clung on the banks of the Volga, across which they ferried vital reserves. And meanwhile, Soviet General George Zhukov built up fresh forces either side of the city, and in November launched a massive assault to surround and trap von Paulus' army, forbidden to break out by Hitler, and the Sixth Army endured until February 1943, when its exhausted remains surrendered. The Germans lost a lot of people. The total was 500,000 men during the Stalingrad campaign, including 91,000 taken prisoner.